Good morning. Whether or not you are in real time or you're going to be watching this in recording, I welcome you to your yoga practice, the one that you get to choose that feels good. That is the right yoga practice for you this morning. I was just speaking and commenting on the fact that it feels good to consciously choose the yoga practice that is right for you each day that you step onto your yoga mat, and that we don't always need to be sweating and pushing the limit and, reaching for something that we haven't found before on our yoga mat. If that's you and if that's what feels deliciously great today, I want you to lead that practice. If you are like me today and perhaps you felt this before and you want to have your yoga class feel so deliciously good and you want to keep it in the range that is like an exploration of your own breath, your own feet on the mat, and the extension of your energy out into the world, you can choose that too. So starting on your yoga mat, laying on your back, we're about to get started. If you have a set of yoga blocks, I highly recommend that you invest in this one beautiful adaptation. Of course, you're going to want two of them. What's lovely about them is it brings the ground up to you, which means that you can extend and ground yourself into your yoga mat with your feet or with your hands and expand upwards. And it just feels really, really delicious. They're also lovely for extending backwards over to open up your spinal column. As a chiropractor, I just can't fail to mention how lovely it is for your spine to have that really supported extension. If you have a yoga towel, or rather a towel that you can fold up and place underneath your sitting bones or slip underneath your knees, that's also a really lovely feature to have. Okay? So take what you need. If you have a bolster, that's great. I don't use my bolster as much as I do some of my other props. I'm going to pull my all right. Let's go ahead and start on our backs this morning. Oh, such a beautiful morning. It's pitch black here in Kelowna land. Wherever you are, I hope that you can feel the crisp October air. Find a position that feels good to you. That might be stretched out with your legs long before you, or it may be that your knees are bent and you have the soles of your feet together and your knees are coming apart in Supta Baddha Konasana. Or if that is too much, too open, take your feet to the far edges of the mat and allow your knees to just tuck in and touch each other. Whatever position you take, close your eyes and either choose to open your hands and your palms to the sky, or bend your elbows and rest the palms of your hands on your belly. And close your eyes, relax your face, feel the ground supporting you, the edges of the earth coming up under your mat, feeling it on your back body, knowing that you're supported in your practice today, and there's nothing to do, you've already arrived. Softening your breath, starting to extend the length of your inhales in through your nose and your exhales. Feeling the rise of your belly as you inhale, the rise of your chest, and the exhale through your mouth or through your nose, and the fall of your chest and the fall of your belly. Keep moving at your own pace, allowing your breath to come in and expand your rib cage. Soften your belly. And for your next 3 breaths, I would like you to inhale through your nose, open your mouth, and audibly exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose, long, slow inhale. Part your lips, open your mouth, and exhale through your mouth. One more time, just like that. Long, slow inhale. Pause at the top. Open your mouth, long, slow exhale. Continue your breath in through your nose, but this time close your lips and exhale through your nose. Your breath should be audible, developing your ujjayi breathing throughout your practice. The most common practice of our breath, a warming breath, audible to those that are around you. It's a signal to the body to calm your nervous system, place you in a state of parasympathetic ease. And also warming up your body with your own breath from the inside out. Keeping your eyes closed, press your feet forward. If you have them bent, straighten them out towards the front of your mat. Curl your toes towards the ceiling, pressing through your heels. Lifting your heels off while you press through the base of your feet, and then extend your arms up over top of your head, reaching through your fingertips, extending out through your heels, letting your ribs go up towards the ceiling, stretching just a little bit more. Opening your lips and exhaling through your mouth. One more time, pressing through your feet, lifting your toes to the sky, pressing through your heels, reaching out through your fingertips. Let your low back come up off the ground and exhale through your mouth. Release your arms back to the mat, bend your knees, and draw one knee into your chest, followed by the other. Maybe even choosing to place your hands on the top of your kneecaps and starting to circle your kneecaps individually in whatever way feels comfortable. If you're making large circles with your knees, pausing and then taking it the other direction. Letting there be passive movement of your trochanter, of your femur in your pelvis. And then drawing your knees in nice and close and still lengthening your tailbone towards the front of your mat. Option to bring your forehead, curling it up towards your knees, squeezing in just a little bit more. Flexing and extending your feet, making circles, clicking and popping. Breathing deep into your belly, keeping your knees nice and wide to your armpits. Releasing your head back to the mat, keeping hold of your right knee and extending your left leg all straight, all the way out to the ground. Holding your knee in, bringing it all the way out to your right armpit. Inhaling, filling up your belly. Exhaling, drawing your knee in just a little bit closer. And then taking a supine twist, letting your right knee come all the way across your body towards the ground on the left-hand side. Drawing your right arm out to the side and choosing to look towards the ceiling or drifting your gaze all the way over to the right-hand side. And this is where sometimes a prop feels nice. If you're not quite having your knee reach the ground, it's beautiful to just slip a block or a towel underneath your knees, giving yourself what you need and what you want. Letting your right shoulder open up. And consciously moving your breath into your right rib cage, from your hip all the way to your shoulder. Inhale, bringing your right knee back into center, inviting your left knee in, squeezing in a little bit more. Drawing your forehead towards your knee if that's what feels good. Keeping hold of your left knee, extending your right knee all the way out towards the front of your mat, releasing it to the ground, dropping your head back to the ground, taking your supine twist on the other side, letting your left knee roll all the way across your body. Bring your knee as high up or as low as it feels good to you, and then letting your left arm drift out to the left, keeping it below your shoulder height, and letting your head and neck sit in the position that feels right for you right now. Keeping your breath nice and long, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose, strengthening your ujjayi breathing as you go. Feeling the separation of your ribs all the way down your left rib cage as you fill your chest up with breath. And feel your ribs fall as you release your breath through your nose. Inhaling your knee back to center, coming back into neutral position, inviting the other knee up, and rocking from side to side. Opening your eyes and taking a moment to just make some more circles with your ankles in both directions, slipping your hands behind the back of your thighs and starting to rock your body back and forth. And if this isn't what feels comfortable to your back, then I want you to roll onto one side. We're going to meet on hands and knees. If you're rocking back and forth, cross your ankles, roll forward, and come into hands and knees. Making sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips, coming into cat and cow, releasing your belly to the mat, looking forward, bringing your gaze forward, inhaling, exhaling, pressing into your hands, drawing your belly button to spine, chin to chest, pressing into the ground, arching up through your shoulder blades. Releasing your belly, drawing your chest forward, looking forward, inhaling, exhaling, pressing down, drawing your belly button back, pressing through your shoulder blades, pushing the ground away. Keep going at your own pace. Inhaling, dropping down, feeling the articulation of your spine, pressing down, chin to chest, belly button to spine. Keep it going, letting it be as dynamic as you'd like. 2 more. Deep inhales, long, slow exhales. Being kind to your elbows, being aware of your shoulders. Knowing that this is probably the first weight that you placed on your wrist today. And letting that be very kind and conscious. Coming back into neutral spine, walking your left arm, maybe a palm forward. Starting to open up with the right, release your right arm, wave it up to the side, reaching all the way towards the ceiling, pressing into your left hand, reaching up with your right fingers. Exhale, scooping your right arm all the way, threading it through, hovering it, looking to your left. Inhale, sweeping it up, finding some space, reaching up with your palm, fingers wide. Exhale, right arm all the way through to a hover. Inhale, reach up, look up any amount, and this time as you exhale, bring your right hand through, releasing the back of your hand all the way to the ground, coming onto your shoulder and the side of your right head. An option to come onto your left fingertips, spinning your gaze towards the ceiling. Option to extend your left arm up towards the ceiling, opening your left shoulder. Breathing deeply in through your nose, exhaling through your nose. Unwinding, placing your left hand down, coming back to neutral, and instead of going into cat and cow, taking some barrel rolls with your chest. So releasing your belly to the ground, drawing it all the way over to the right side, Drawing your belly button to spine, arching through your shoulder blades, coming to the left, releasing down, and keep going in one direction. Letting your head and neck follow suit. Releasing, coming back the other way. Coming to neutral, this time walking your right hand a palm, just one palm space forward, and extending your left arm. Inhaling, drawing your left arm up towards the sky, looking up any amount. Exhale, drawing it through, thread the needle, left hand to a hover. Inhale, make it large. Inhale, your left arm up, extend up. Exhale, all the way through. Inhale, left arm goes all the way up. Reach a little bit higher. This time, exhale, bring it all the way through, releasing the back of your arm to the mat, bringing your side of your left head to the mat, coming up on right tented fingertips. Breathing, looking underneath your right shoulder or extending your right hand all the way towards the sky. Releasing your right hand down to the mat, coming back, taking a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhaling, looking forward, dropping your belly. Exhale, pressing down. Coming back to neutral, I want you to press back with your left foot. So reaching your left foot all the way towards the back of the mat, bring your toes to the mat and pressing back through your heel. Keeping your arms right underneath your wrists, underneath your shoulder, then pressing back with your right leg, coming in to your version of plank. Now, if high plank is not an option for you, then I want you to release your knees to the mat and having plank in your upper body. So not sinking down, not keeping your butt way up in the air as if you're in tabletop, but making sure that you're engaging your belly button, drawing your belly button to spine, pressing back through your heels, reaching forward through the crown of your head. Embrace the shake. Keep going. Drawing your kneecaps up, pressing back through the heels, and then releasing your knees to the mat. Coming down in one long line, tucking your shoulder blades into your side body, and bringing your hands nice and wide outside the corners of your mat. Fingers down, elbows up towards the sky. Draw your right leg back, top of your foot to the mat, then draw your left leg back, top of the foot to the mat, and waving up on an inhale, press into your hands and wave up, drawing your chest forward, reaching up through your crown. Exhale, come all the way back down. We're going to repeat that. Inhale, press into your hands, wide chest, draw your chest forward, shoulder blades slide down your back body, all the pressure's out of your neck. Exhale, waving all the way back down. Inhale, press down, lift up. Let the work be in your back body. No crunching in your low back. When you're up, take a gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, take a gaze to your left. Inhale, back to center. Releasing all the way back down. Take your hands beside your shoulders, tuck your toes, come up to tabletop, lift your hips to downward facing dog. Taking some time to pedal out your dog, wake your hips up, making sure your feet are hip distance apart and your hands are nice and wide on the mat. Every one of your fingers making contact with the mat. Bend your knees, lifting your hips towards the sky. So you're pressing back firmly with your hands, straightening your arms. Feeling like there's one long line from your fingertips all the way to your sitting bones. If you are a hyperextender in your elbows, slight creases in your elbows, spiraling your upper biceps towards the sky. This time, waving forward, coming onto your tippy toes all the way into your plank position. And just listen to what I'm saying. You want to soften your knees to a hover, and then you want to push back with your knees hovering And then lifting your hips to downward facing dog. Okay, we're gonna do that a few times. Waving forward into high plank, finding your plank, softening your knees to a hover, pressing back through a lifted table all the way, raising your hips into downward facing dog. Keep going at your own pace. Feeling your body articulating as you're going. Lifting your hips nice and high, waving forward, finding your plank, keep going. Bend your knees, pressing back, all the way forward. This time coming all the way back into downward facing dog. And then releasing your knees nice and wide, coming into a child's pose. Knees wide, sinking your hips all the way back to your heels and extending your arms out in front. This is your child's pose, and you should come here as much as you like in your practice. It is a reminder that you are your own home. Use it often. You never have to wait for me to cue it. If you put your knees together and your ankles together, you'll feel the stretch and the lengthening through your shoulder blades. If you keep your knees nice and wide and then your toes together, you'll feel it extend back into your lower back. Releasing your head to stacked palms or all the way down to the ground. And this time coming up, tucking your toes, if that's available to you, bringing your knees hip distance apart and just sitting back onto your knees. Now, if this isn't available for you, because we don't all have lots of availability in our ankles and our feet, then you can go ahead and sit down onto the top or sit onto a rolled mat or a block. But if this is available to you, go ahead and get the practice of sitting onto your toes and placing your fingertips towards your knees. So spinning your hands so your thumbs are out and your fingers are towards you. And sitting backwards so you're feeling the stretch, not only in your ankles, but you're also feeling it in the front of your arms. If that's not enough stretch for you, walking your hands forward just a little bit more and then pressing back. Drawing your shoulder blades down your back, translating all the tension out of your head and neck. Okay, coming forward and releasing. And just give your wrists a shake. If you can continue to stay on your toes, go ahead and do so. If not, release it down. So releasing your right hand beside you, take your left arm out to the side, inhaling it up to the ceiling, exhaling, side bending all the way to the right. Inhale, left arm down, bring your right arm up, exhale all the way to the left. Keep going, allowing your shoulders to open up the way it feels most comfortable. Inhale to rise, exhale to side bend. One more. Each side. Feel the length happening all the way down the side body. Maybe your toes are starting to let you know that it's not so crazy with this position. That's okay. When you're done, I want you to come forward, release your toes, and just sit back on the back of your heels. Inhale your arms on either side. Look up. Palms together. Bring your palms all the way down through heart center. And keeping your thumbs to your chest, close your eyes for just a moment. Taking a moment to acknowledge yourself and this amazing, small and growing community of women who are choosing to show up on their mat whenever they can. The individual thread that ties us all together. Releasing your hands down, open your eyes, walking your hands forward, lifting your hips, coming into downward facing dog. Letting your hips go from side to side. Inhale your right leg up and back, hips parallel to the front of the mat. Exhale, draw your right knee through, all the way to your right hand. Release your left knee down to the mat, untuck your toes, keeping your hands on tented fingers or blocks, sinking your hips forward. Lifting your chest. Feeling the stretch through your front body. And if you're feeling the crunch into your lower back, just lift your hips up just a little bit. If it feels better to be on blocks, this is where sometimes blocks can be really beautiful, so you don't feel crunched in your front body. Coming forward and then inhaling your arms up. Pressing into your left knee, reaching up out of the sole of your right foot, expressing your fingers all the way forward. Shoulder blades sliding down your back body, all the tension out of your neck. Reaching up one more time, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. Releasing your right hand to the back of your left thigh and inhaling your left arm up towards the ceiling. Option to look up any amount and pressing your hips forward, leading your chest towards the sky. Deep breath in, long exhale out through your mouth. Inhale your right arms up, exhale, hands down to other side. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up, step your left foot forward about a foot, coming into pyramid pose, so making sure your feet are on train tracks and not on a tightrope. Option to bring your hands to blocks or to the front of your thigh. Inhale to find some length, both your hips, center to the front of your mat, micro bend your knees if that's what feels better. Exhale, release your chest all the way down to your right knee. Big pose, big stretch. See if your right hip can go back any amount, drawing your left hip forward. All 10 toes facing the front of your mat. No tension in the back of your neck. Inhale, wave up a little. Exhale, release down even more. Inhale, looking forward. We're going to step to the front of your mat. Bend your left knee, spring forward, coming into a halfway lift. So drawing your hands to the front of your shins, to blocks, or to your thighs, reaching forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Press into the earth, rise up, arms up, hands together. Exhale, forward fold. Making sure your feet are hip distance apart, releasing your hands on either side, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Option to take hold of opposite elbows, bending your knees as much as your body wants you to. Forward folds are highly overrated in my opinion. To tell you as a chiropractor, I know this is a peak pose for a lot of people. So I want you to make sure that you treat it that way as well. Again, back to where blocks can be really nice. Nice big bend in your knees, drawing your chest towards your thighs. Don't be afraid to kind of press your sitting bones backwards instead of up if it feels like it's too much. Inhale, waving up to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Keep going. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. This time, stepping back with your right foot all the way to the back of your mat, releasing your right knee to the mat, pressing forward, stretching forward, hips center to the front of your mat, lifting your gaze, feeling the stretch in the front. And if your knee is extending way beyond your left toes, then just walking your left heel forward just a bit. Breathing deep. Widen your collarbones, shoulder blades sliding down your back of your body. Being mindful of your breath, so kind to yourself. When you're ready, inhaling your arms up, lifting up out of your hips, and then settling back down, reaching up with your fingertips, going wide with your arms, humbling your chin towards your chest, just the slightest amount so you can lift up out of your crown. Deep breath in, exhaling deeply, releasing your left hand to the back of your right thigh and reaching up with your right fingertips. Reach up, lift up your hips, bring your gaze up any amount. Exhale, hands down on either side, tucking your back toes, coming into pyramid pose on this side, lifting your back knee, stepping forward about a foot. Reaching forward with your hands on the front of your shins or even on your thighs or to blocks. Nice and long through the back body. Exhale, folding over your left knee. Being kind to your left hamstring. Letting your body move in a wave if that's what feels best. Coming to stillness. Drawing your left hip back, bringing the subtle change of your right hip forward. Inhaling to halfway lift, seeing if you can get as straight as possible in your back. Bending your knees, stepping forward to the front of your mat. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise. Press into your feet, lift all the way up. Arms up, look up. Releasing towards the top of your mat, taking your right hand, holding onto your left wrist. Inhaling for length. Exhaling, drawing your left wrist all the way over to the right. Pressing your hips to the left, feeling all four corners of both your feet. Inhaling, growing a little longer. Exhaling, pressing a little bit more to your right. Inhaling to center. Releasing your grip, taking your left wrist, take your left hand on your right wrist. Inhaling for length, exhaling all the way over to the left-hand side. Looking forward, keeping your gaze towards the front of your mat. Inhaling for some length, exhaling, drawing over to the left, pressing to the right. Inhale, back to center. Looking up, exhale, hands to heart center, fold all the way through, bending your knees all the way into a forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, exhale to fold, step back to your plank, and right away, hinge back into downward facing dog. Doing a practice without a lot of chaturangas today. If you would like to take the flow, by all means, please do. When you're ready, inhale your right leg up and back, squaring your hips to the mat, pressing deeply through your heel. Exhale, bring your right knee through, placing it all the way onto beside your right fingertips, coming into a high lunge, making sure your feet are nice and wide. Press into your feet, lift your hips, lift your body, hands on your hips. Exhale, settle into the pose. Inhale your arms up. Reaching up with your fingertips. Left heel stacked over left toes. Right knee bending forward to your right toes. Hips square to the front of the mat. Shoulder blades rolling down your back. Lifting up. Exhaling through your nose. Making sure that your right knee is tracking forward of your toes and not falling inwards. Exhale your right hand to the back of your left thigh. Inhale, extend back with your left hand, reaching up, maybe even extending back. Inhale your right arm up. Exhale, bring both your hands behind your back body. Interlace your fingers, pressing your hands down your back, lifting your chest to the sky. Exhaling, hinging forward, kneading forward with your crown. Inhale, waving back up. Chest open to the sky, fingers sliding down the back of your body. Exhale, waving forward. Inhale, coming up, chest to the sky. Exhale, this time coming all the way down into humble warrior. Letting your head release all the way down. Right shoulder inside your right knee. Allowing your fingertips to extend over your head any amount. Pressing into your toes, feeling the strength of your legs. It's okay if there's some shake. Releasing your hands to the mat. Coming up, pressing into both your hands and taking your right foot back all the way to plank, and then hinging your hips back to downward facing dog. Taking a break anytime you feel like it. Practice our self-compassion. Practice being beautiful to your own body and your own mind and your own energy. When you're ready, inhale your left leg up and back, pressing back through your heel, feeling the strength of your hands. One long line all the way to the back of your left heel. Exhale, bring your left foot all the way through to your left hand. High lunge on the other side. Find your foundation, press into your feet and lift up. Hands to your hips. Exhale, settle into your pose. Contain the front of your ribs. Tucking your tailbone ever so slightly, and if that means you need to put a bit of a bend in your back, right hamstring, please do. When you're ready, inhale your arms up. Exhale, settle even more. If you need to adjust your pose, just like life. Right heel high over top your right toes. Shoulder blades down your back body. Feel your right leg straightening and your left knee bending even more. Lift up, exhale, settle lower. Release your left hand to the back of your right thigh. Inhale your right arm up, reaching up with your right fingertips. Option to extend back any amount. Look up, exhale, left arm up, and then release both hands back direction. Pressing your fingers down, opening your chest, drawing your chest to the sky, looking up any amount, hinging forward as you exhale, releasing forward, hands behind you. Inhale, waving up, chest to the sky, wobbling. Exhale, hinging forward. Inhale, waving back up, feeling the strength of your legs. Exhale, coming into a full humble warrior, releasing your shoulder and your head and your neck, and the inside of your left leg. Letting your arms go up over top of your head, no pressure in the back of your neck. Drawing your left hip back and your right hip forward. One more deep breath in. Long, slow exhale. Release your hands on either side of your feet. Step back to plank. Hinge your hips, downward facing dog. Pedal out your down dog, whatever feels comfortable. And this is an option. You can take child's pose at this time, whatever feels good with you. Inhale, coming up on your tippy toes, lifting your hips towards the sky. Exhale, releasing your heels towards the ground. 2 more times. Inhale, pressing into your tippy toes, coming all the way up. Exhale, releasing your heels all the way down. 1 more time. Inhale, reach up with your heels. Exhale, release your heels all the way back. Taking a step forward and taking your feet wide on the edges of your mat. So shortening your down dog. Feel free to bend your knees any amount. Look forward to your hands, making sure you have a nice wide foundation in your hands. Inhale your right arm across your body, underneath, taking hold of anything you can take hold of. So that might be the outside of your left thigh, the outside of your left ankle. Square your shoulders to the front of the mat, pressing back with your hands, feeling the twist. Deep, slow inhale, long, slow exhale. Releasing your right hand back, centering yourself out. And when you're ready, taking your left hand across underneath your body, taking hold of the outside of your right foot, leg, thigh, pressing back through your right hand. Lifting your hips to the sky. It's fun to do hard things. It reminds you how damn resilient you are. Releasing your left hand back, bringing your feet to hip distance, waving forward to plank, high plank or knees down, releasing your knees to the mat, come all the way down. Inhale to your cobra. Exhale all the way down. Press down again, inhale, press into your hands, lift up, shoulder blades down your back body. Exhale all the way back down. Inhale, press down. Come forward, chest reaching to the front of the room. Exhale all the way down, hands beside your shoulders, press into your knees, lift your body to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back, stacking your right knee on top of your left, bend your knee. Lifting your right knee towards the sky, sinking your left heel towards the ground, opening up your right hip. See if you can go a little higher with your right knee. Find the space. Inhale your right leg long. Exhale, bring it all the way through to your right hand. Coming into warrior two, sink your left heel down on a 90-degree angle, making sure that you have your foundation, windmill your arms up. Settling into your pose, left arm back, right arm forward. Nice wide leg, open hip posture. So making sure that your right knee is not sinking in, but is coming out to the side. Open your palms up towards the ceiling, release your shoulder blades down your back, and then one at a time, spin your palms down. Looking forward over your right hand, sinking a little lower. Keeping with the theme of the class, we're gonna reverse your warrior. So slide your left hand down your left leg, flip your front palm, inhale, reach your right palm up and back, bending deeper into your right knee. Inhale back to warrior two. Extending your right leg. So coming into triangle, sliding forward with your right hand, pressing your left hip back. And when you're ready, releasing your right hand to your thigh, your shin, to the mat, to the ground, to a block. Extend your left arm forward. Up over top of your head. Both legs are straight. Option to spin your gaze forward, down towards your right toes, which is always a great option. Or look all the way towards the ceiling. And if you're looking towards the ceiling, humble your chin. Draw your chin back so that you're not jutting it forward. Inhale, bend your right knee, coming back into warrior two. Exhale, windmill your arms down either side of your right foot. Set your hands up, press into your hands, lift back to plank pose, and then tip your hips back to downward facing dog. Find your best downward facing dog. Feel the strength of your arms as you press into your hands and you lift your hips. It's great to bend your knees any amount. And even if your knees are bent a bit, still sink your hips, your heels down towards the ground, lifting your hips towards the sky. Take a deep breath in through your nose, open your mouth, audibly exhale through your mouth. When you're ready, inhale your left leg up and back, bend your left knee, bring it on top of your right hip, stacking your hips, centering your front body to the front of your mat, so making sure your right shoulder's not dipping down, lifting your left knee even higher, sinking your right heel even closer to the mat. Feel the strength of your arms. Inhale your left leg long. Exhale, bring your left foot through all the way to your left hand. Drop your right heel down on a 90-degree angle. Coming into warrior two, inhale, find your legs, opening to the right side of your mat. When you're ready, opening your arms, flipping your palms towards the sky, finding your shoulder blades down your back. And when you're ready, one at a time, palms down. Opening your left knee to the left. Feeling the strength of your outer right foot. So pressing into your outer right foot. Straight leg on the right, bending deeper into the left knee. Stacking your head over your shoulders, over your hips. Calm your breath. Releasing your right hand down the back of your right leg. Flip your left palm. Inhale, reach up with your left palm. All the way back, look up. Sink deeper into your left knee. Feel the breath in your left rib cage. Inhale back to warrior two. Straightening your left leg, hinging your hips back, reaching forward with your left hand. And when you can't go any further, releasing your hand to where it feels comfortable. And extend your right hand up over top your head. So you're stacking your right shoulder on top of your left. Long body on the left side. So not crunching down. So if it means you have to go a little higher in the pose, gift yourself that. Okay, and if you feel your left knee going into hyperextension, find the place where you can preserve the joint. So just micro bend into your left knee. Reaching up with your right hand. Extending down with your left, feeling the earth supporting you, feeling the outer right foot pressing into the earth. One more deep breath in, long exhale. Inhale, bend your left knee into warrior two. Beautiful, and then windmill your arms down on either side of your left foot. Come onto your toes, press back to plank, and then lift your hips to downward facing dog. Releasing your knees to the mat. I want you to come into child's pose. So just release your hips back, reaching forward. Drop your forehead down to the mat or to crossed palms. Wiggle from side to side. Find your stillness or your movement, whatever feels good in this moment. Make sure you're still bringing your breath along with you. As we go into pigeon pose, if you know that your knees are sensitive in pigeon pose, I want you to find your way onto your back. And you're going to do figure four, which I will show you in just a moment. If you already know what you're doing for figure four and you know your knees are sensitive, by all means, go ahead and start to get into that on the right side. Otherwise, if you're going to full pigeon with me, set yourself back up, coming into downward facing dog, lifting your hips, pressing back with your hands. Inhale your right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to right wrist. Walking your left leg back any amount, centering your hips to the front of your mat, coming up onto fingertips. So there's lots of different ways to do pigeon. I like to bring my right knee on the outside of my right hip. Some people like to take it straight out in front. You can do whatever feels better for you. But making sure that whatever you're doing your best to keeping your hips centered to the front of the mat. So walking yourself up, sitting up nice and tall, drawing up to your pelvis. It's not a passive pose at this point. Deep breathing into your chest, lifting your chest, sliding your shoulder blades down. And then exhale, starting to walk your hands forward, any amount, coming onto forearms, releasing your head and neck all the way down to the earth. And if it would feel better for you to place a blanket under your right hip or a block, please do. I mean, I spent years never giving myself support in pigeon because I just simply thought I never needed it. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. So it's great to give it a try. Staying with your breath. Being as conscious as you can in your own practice. Being disciplined to not allow yourself to wander too far beyond the edges of your mat. And let your breath be as juicy as possible. If you feel any gripping in your body, send your breath there. If you have a prop underneath your right hip, just release it. If you want to stay in that pose, go ahead. If not, come with me, walking your hands up. Bending your left knee any amount, drawing your heel towards your glute. Okay? Centering your right hand, pressing into your right hand, an option to reach back and grab the inside of your left heel and draw your heel towards your glutes. Looking forward, see if you can bring both your shoulders back in alignment. And if you have the option, you can loop your left foot inside your left forearm. If this doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. One more deep breath in. Long exhale through your nose. With control, release your foot back to the mat. Take your hands on either side of your right knee. Bring your knee in a bit. Press into your hands. Lift your hips and come into downward facing dog. Pedal your hips. Bend your knees. Do whatever motion feels good to your body in this moment. And I'm sorry if you're in figure 4, I never did come back and make sure that you had that support, so I'll do it on this side. When you're ready for pigeon pose, inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee to left wrist. Walking your right hip back any amount. Top your foot to the mat. Coming up on tented fingertips. Inhale, lifting your chest, sinking your hips down. So hips are centered to the front of your mat. Okay, do your best. We're all a little different in our physiology. Find the space in your collarbones and release your shoulder blades down your back body. And when you're ready, exhale, folding forward, walking all the way down onto your hands or your forearms. And then remembering that you can also put some sort of support underneath your left hip. And neither one of our sides are equal. So you might need something on this side that you didn't on the other. And if you are back in figure 4, I'm coming back to you. You're on your back, left ankle on top of right thigh. Your first option is to simply stay in this figure 4 with your left hand gently pressing your left knee forward. Or you can reach through, taking hold of the back of your right thigh and drawing your right knee in towards your chest. Flex your left toes, protect your knee, releasing your shoulder blades, your head and neck, drawing your right knee in. This might be a better option. And as always, you take the option that feels best for you. And sometimes it's just fun to play with it. Stay with your pose. Gift yourself the gift of presence. When you're ready, press into your hands to come up. Bending your right knee, bringing your right heel towards your glute, starting there. Pressing firmly into your left hand, reaching back with your right hand to the inside ankle of your right foot and drawing your right heel towards your right glute. Keeping your shoulders as centered as possible to the front of the mat, feeling the stretch in the front of the right thigh. If it's particularly uncomfortable on your kneecap, see if you can slide forward so you're actually above your kneecap. So sometimes that means you draw your foot back even further when you're setting up, right? So stepping your knee back even more so that when you bend, you're on the front. If your knee is really far forward, then you feel like you're on your kneecap. One more deep breath in. Long, slow exhale out. Releasing your foot back. Walking your knee in on either side. Pressing into your hands, coming back to downward facing dog. Finding some movement. Last downward dog, pressing back, waving forward to plank, releasing your knees to the mat, coming all the way down to one long line, reaching your foot back, top of your feet to the front of the mat, or the back of the mat, press into your hands, coming into cobra, inhaling, chest forward, lifting it through, releasing your shoulder blade, exhale, release all the way back. Pressing into your hands through tabletop, lifting to downward facing dog, lifting your head, looking forward, walking, stepping, hopping, whatever, to the front of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Rooting to rise, press into your feet, lifting your chest up, arms up, gaze up, hands together, reaching back, extending any amount. Exhale, hands to the front of your heart. Taking your feet hip distance or even a little further apart, toes at 10 and 2. Keeping your hands at heart center, coming down into a squat. Bending your knees, pressing your hips back, coming all the way down into Malasana. Reaching your hands back behind you. And then rolling all the way down, one vertebrae at a time, all the way down into your back body. Bringing your knees into your chest, rolling from side to side. Drawing both your knees in, bring your forehead up to your knees. Roll back up and coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So for wide-legged forward fold, you may find that this is where you would love to have your towel in the back of your sitting bones. And the intention of the towel is not to sit fully on it, it's to sit on the edge of it. So when you sit on the edge of it, your hips roll forward. And so for a wide-legged forward fold, if the minute you put your legs long, you start to hollow out kind of like a turtle, then you have some options. Bend your knees, flex your toes up towards the sky, and then sit up nice and tall. So let's just all do that. Let's sit up nice and tall. Imagine we're in the same room, because we kind of are and aren't. So sitting up nice and tall, bend your knees as much as you need to so that you know that your head is stacked over your shoulders, stacked over your hips. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall, making your feet nice and wide, taking your hands forward any amount. See how much you can release your knees down while still drawing your toes in to sit up nice and tall. And if you can't do this, that's okay. Keep your hands behind you. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, fold forward any amount, leading with your chest. And let there be a wave. Inhale for length. Exhale, fold even more. Keep your toes engaged, bringing them up towards the ceiling. So if you were to be sideways and I was looking at your back body, you would be as long as possible. Try to avoid the hump into your lower back. Our lower backs don't like that. We're supposed to have a lordosis in our lower back, and we spend so much time like this. We want to draw up, restore the curve. Humble your chin just a little bit so that you're drawing out of your crown. Exhale, fold forward any amount. Let there be a wave if that's what feels good. And look, we're on the ground. Close your eyes. Notice where you're gripping. Send your breath there. Inhale, walk your body all the way up. Bend your left knee, bring the sole of your left foot inside your right thigh. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Flex your feet on the right-hand side, drawing your right hand out to the right. Inhale, your left arm up. Exhale, bring it up and over top of your head. Stacking your left shoulder on top of your right. So your right hand actually might be inside your right thigh on a block or on the ground. Find your length. Inhale, looking forward or even spinning your gaze towards the sky. Exhale, drawing your left hand over top of your head any amount. Keeping your left hip on the ground, your sitting bone connected to the earth. Open your chest. So using your right elbow to leverage your body, spinning your chest open any amount. Making sure you're responsible with your neck, not letting your head hang out in space. Deep breath into the side body. Long exhale through your nose. Settle into your pose. Inhale your hands back up. Bring your right leg in to meet your left. Coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. Bringing your soles of your feet together. Holding onto your ankles nice and tall. Finding your length. And for you, this also might be something where your hands feel better behind you. So coming onto tented fingertips. Finding your length. Finding your sitting bones by sitting nice and tall. And wherever you are, exhaling, coming forward, leading with your chest, humbling your chin. If you're coming forward, letting your elbows gently press into the inside of your thighs. Long, straight spine. Inhale to come up, extending your left leg back out to the left, drawing your right foot into the inside of your left thigh. Reaching your left arm out, whether it's on a bent elbow to a block of the ground, whatever feels good, flexing your left toes. Inhale your right arm up, over top your head, reaching up first, spinning your shoulders open, drawing your left rib cage up towards the sky, stacking right on top of left, exhaling, reaching your right hand towards your left toes. Finding your neck, so even just spinning your gaze down to your left knee, drawing your chin in a little bit, and then keeping your chin in, bringing your gaze forward any amount towards the sky. Opening up your chest. Shoulder blades down your back body. Deep breath in through your nose. Long exhale through your nose. Feeling your right sitting bone making contact with the earth and reaching up. One more breath out of your right fingertips. Inhale, coming all the way back up to center. Releasing your left knee, bringing it up. Bringing your knees together, feet in front of you, and then hugging one arm, then the other around your shins, sitting up nice and tall, and then releasing your forehead towards your knees. Squeezing in, breathing into your back body, and then releasing down, bringing your hands, cupping the front of your shins, letting your hips fall back, arching in, belly button to spine, chin to chest. Inhale, waving up, sitting up nice and tall, broadening through your shoulders, collarbones, shoulder blades back, reaching through the crown. Exhale, letting your hips hinge back, belly button to spine, chin to chest. One more time, wave up, press into your sitting bones, broadening through your collarbones, lifting up through the crown, and then releasing. If you're not facing the long edge of your mat, spinning around, and then rolling down the way you feel most comfortable, one vertebrae at a time. Drawing your knees into your chest, giving them a nice big squeeze. Taking the next 20 to 30 seconds to do whatever movement feels best for you. So whether that's coming into supine twist or releasing your heels up towards the sky. Sometimes simply drawing your heels towards the sky and drawing your hands over top of your face can be one of the most restorative postures you can do. Spending a moment with your eyes closed as we wind down the last few minutes of our practice. Finding the discipline to stay with your practice, even when you think you're not doing anything. When you're ready, coming into your final resting pose, Shavasana, drawing your right heel out to the very edge of your right mat, extending your left leg all the way out to the left side, taking up lots of room, maybe even taking your towel, draping it over top of you, taking a moment to put your shoulder blades underneath your back body, making contact with the back of the occiput. And then drawing your arms out to the sides, palms up, and close your eyes. Releasing any last moments of your breath. Enjoying the benefit of your practice. Sending yourself so much love and appreciation. I'm going to share a poem by a name I always get wrong. I'm going to call it Pima Chodron. keeping in your final resting pose, and just choose to listen if you'd like. In life, we think that the point is to pass the test or overcome the problem. The real truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together for a time and then they fall back apart. Then they come together and fall back apart again. It's just like that. Personal discovery and growth come from letting there be room for all this to happen. Room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy. Suffering comes from wishing things were different. Misery is self-inflicted when we are expecting the idea to overcome the actual, or needing things or people or places to be different for us so we can then be happy. Let the hard things in life break you. Let them affect you. Let them change you. Let those hard moments inform you. Let this pain be your teacher. The experiences of your life are trying to tell you something about yourself, and don't cop out on that. Don't run away and hide under your covers, lean into it. What is the lesson in the wind? What is the storm trying to tell you? What will you learn if you face it with courage, with full honesty, and lean into it? When you're ready, you can choose to stay right where you are. Or you can start to create some movement in your hands and your wrists, your feet and your ankles. Drawing the seams of your legs together. Pressing out through the balls of your feet, reaching up with your fingertips. Up over top of your head. Reaching to the top of your mat, pressing out through your heels, letting your lower back lift off of the ground. Exhale through your mouth. Drawing your knees into your chest, one knee at a time. Rolling onto one side. Resting your head on your bent elbow. And keeping your eyes closed, pressing into your hand, and coming up to sit in a nice cross-legged seated position, or whatever seat feels comfortable to you. This pose is Tsukasana, easy seat. Keeping your eyes closed, resting your palms and your hands on your knees, finding some length. Drawing up out of the crown of your head, rooting down into your sits bones. Releasing your hands on either side of your body, reaching up, palms up, drawing up your palms towards the sky, being mindful, keeping your shoulder blades down your back body. Letting your gaze lift any amount, bringing your palms together, capturing the energy of the universe, drawing your palms through heart center, bringing your palms all the way to your chest, pressing your palms together, keeping your elbows tall, and then bowing your head towards your palms. Gifting yourself the graciousness to be who you are at all times. Loving everything about who you have always been, and remembering how strong you are. On this Thanksgiving weekend, I am sending thanks to you for finding me on the mat and choosing to share in your practice. And from my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you, everybody, for sharing in your practice today.